All the investments in the American Job Plan will be guided by one principle: buy American. Buy American.
Well, okay, President Biden there wants to buy American. Sounds like Donald Trump, but he kind of forgot the other part that Mr. Trump used to always say, hire American. Why is that? How did he forget? Let's ask our next guest, distinguished former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, Fox News contributor. Mike, what do you think about it? I mean, Biden kind of sounded a little bit like Trump, but hire America seems like there's a lot of anti-jobs and the open borders, and how are we going to hire America in this?
Larry, thanks for having me on. It was quite something to hear him talk about purchasing goods, but not taking care of working class Americans and hiring American and building infrastructure here that working class Americans would build themselves. We've seen this, right? They canceled the Keystone Pipeline. They put all kinds of regulatory proposals in the pipeline. These will ultimately hurt jobs. Larry, you worked hard on this for your time in the administration. These are the things that create wealth for American people across a broad spectrum. They're the things that grow the economy. The proposals I saw last night, you described them as temporary or one-time. When's the last time, Larry, you saw a one-time temporary social welfare program ever make it into law? It's like a unicorn. It's often talked about but seldom seen.
You know, that's great. If you step back, Mike, I mean, look, you were a House member. You've been CIA. You've been State Department. You also were a businessman a long time ago. And in our conversations, you know a lot about how the economy works. It just seems like this whole approach is transformational. The triumph of big government, right? It's a long ways from Bill Clinton's "the era of big government is over." This is the triumph of big government and the downgrading of the private sector, of entrepreneurs and private investment.
Larry, we know this model. We've seen this model. In fact, America for the last 4 years crushed this model. It's in Europe. It's the European model. It's a model with bigger social welfare state, a bigger a network. They call it a safety net, but really it's a trap. This is the European model where work is not rewarded and the government attempts to take care of everything from literally cradle to grave. That you compete with China by adding a couple years of education. I mean, these are just nutty fantasy ideas. We've seen them in the European social welfare state. America has outcompeted Europe for a long time based on markets and people who want to come invest in America and grow and hire people in America. To head back in this direction feels very much like something that we know all too well, and it harkens back to the countries that we all saw collapse because their government got too big and the socialist model became too deeply ingrained in their culture. You know,
Secretary, part of this sounds like he's going after China, but he's using China as a foil for high spending and subsidies and the government running the economy. It's like a state-run economy. So let me get this right. To beat China, we're supposed to emulate China? I don't think so, but I don't know. What do you think? How do you see it?
If you're a progressive and you've adopted progressive policies, any port in the storm will do, right? So make China the foil, whatever it takes to grow government, to just find the excuse. So whether it's a crisis, be it COVID, whether it's the financial, whatever it may be, you're going to go esconce social welfare programs that don't actually benefit Americans who are prepared to get up every morning, get out the door, work their tail off, and get back home to be with their families. You're going to penalize those people. You're going to open borders and depress wages as well. All of the things that harm ordinary working class Americans are wrapped up in this progressive vision of America. And if they have to use China as a foil to get it ensconced into law, so be it. They'll use whatever excuse they need. I can't imagine that these are either one-time or temporary proposals that are being made by President Biden.
I know you've got a heart out and you've got to get someplace, and we appreciate you coming out. Just last one, Secretary. Will he get away with it? Will this stuff pass? I know it's a hard question to answer. What's your gut tell you? Can it be stopped?
I think if we work hard at this and we explain to the American people what's happening to them and what it will mean to their kids and their grandkids, I'm convinced the American people won't let this happen. I'm optimistic in that respect, Larry.
Let me join you. I love some optimism. Thank you. Former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. Great stuff.
Thank you, Larry.
Terrific stuff. You bet.
Yes,
anytime.
Sir.